As San Antonio celebrates 300 years, you have a chance to be part of the city's history.
Leah Derain shows us how you can create a Tricentennial masterpiece.
Artist and educator Steve Prince is in San Antonio to build a special Tricentennial art installation. He's created unique pieces across the country. For the San Antonio Door Project, he needs your help. The piece will be constructed out of wood-like puzzle pieces that have been hand-carved by San Antonians. Free workshops are being held this week where anyone can stop in to make a work of art, leaving their fingerprint on Alamo City history. The pieces will be sorted by areas of town, north, south, east, and west, then assembled to create 4 doors, interlocking into a compass rose.
This door project is about going through various thresholds of understanding, these thresholds of connection and community and involvement and becoming one. They get a little quick art lesson. I get them to kind of create a nice marking of the border, draw directly onto the block. And what we're doing is removing the negative space around the positive line. That's the beauty of being an artist and being able to say your truth and say what you're experiencing, and then have, hopefully others will take the time to stop, to look, to listen, and perhaps we can enter into a new threshold of understanding each other, and perhaps that would draw us closer.
Safety glasses and masks are provided, and no prior art experience is necessary. Prince will help you every step of the way.
Your life is important, and in your experience, your voice, and however you put it, is where the beauty of the project is located.
Leah Derain, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
Now, there are workshops this week all around town. The project unveiling is Saturday at the Carver on North Hackberry Street at 7 o'clock in the evening. For more on the workshops and the Door Project, just head on over to KENS5.com.